Lesson 4. Make a commitment and you will move mountains. What this power is, I cannot say. All I know is that it exists and becomes available only when a man is in that state of mind in which he knows exactly what he wants and is fully determined not to quit until he finds it. Alexander Graham Bell. I used to think I knew what commitment and persistence meant, trying hard, making a lot of attempts. However, I didn't grasp the true meaning of these concepts until I read a small paperback book entitled The Ultimate Secret to Getting Absolutely Everything You Want by Mike Harnaki. Commitment is the essence of the ultimate secret. According to the author, the key to getting what you want is willingness to do whatever it takes to accomplish your objective. Now, before your mind jumps to conclusions, let me add that in saying whatever it takes, I exclude all actions which are illegal, unethical, or which harm other people. So, exactly what do I mean by this willingness? It's a mental attitude that says, if it takes 5 steps to reach my goal, I'll take those 5 steps. If it takes 55 steps to reach my goal, I'll take those 55 steps. If it takes 155 steps to reach my goal, I'll take those 155 steps. Of course, at the outset, you usually won't know exactly how many steps will be required to reach your goal. This doesn't matter. To succeed, all that's necessary is that you make a commitment to do whatever it takes, regardless of the number of steps involved. Where does persistence fit in? Persistent action follows commitment, that is, you first must be committed to do something before you will persist to achieve it. That you must be committed to something before you will persist to achieve it. Once you have made a commitment to achieve your goal, then you will follow through with relentless determination and action until you attain the desired result. The magic of commitment. When you make a commitment and are willing to do whatever it takes, you begin to attract the people and circumstances necessary to accomplish your goal. For instance, once you devote yourself to becoming, say, a best selling author, you might suddenly bump into a literary agent or discover a television program offering advice on this very topic. It's not as if these resources never existed before, it's just that your mind never focused on finding them. Once you commit yourselves to something, you create a mental picture of what it would be like to achieve it. Then your mind immediately goes to work like a magnet, attracting events and circumstances that will help bring your picture into reality. It's important to realize, however, that this is not an overnight process. You must be active and seize the opportunities as they appear. The magic which flows from commitment has never been more eloquently or more accurately described than in the following words by W.H. Murray. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sort of things occur to help one that would otherwise never have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision raising in one's favor, all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. Doors will open. Here's another miraculous feature of the power of commitment. You don't have to know at the outset how to achieve your goal. Sure, you'll be better off if you have a plan of attack, but it's not essential that every step be mapped out in advance. In fact, when you have the willingness to do whatever it takes, the right steps are often suddenly revealed to you. You will meet the people you never could have planned to meet. Doors will unexpectedly open for you. It might seem like a luck or good fortune is smiling on you. In truth, you will have created these positive events by making a commitment and thus instructing your mind to look for them. Here's an example of how a door unexpectedly opened for me. In 1989, I started writing motivational articles. I had learned about the power of positive attitude and the other success principles, and I was committed to sharing this information with others who could benefit from it. But I had no idea where to start. Do I send my articles to newspapers, submit them to magazines, write my own book? Effort only fully releases its reward of after a person refuses to quit. Napoleon Hill. The first thing I did was submit an article to a local newsletter for people involved in training and human resources. The article was printed in summer of 1990. A few months later, I got a phone call from a gentleman named Stuart Kamen, a freelance writer who also worked with businesses to produce newsletters. Stuart said he had seen my article while visiting the home of his best friend and was very impressed with it. Then he asked me, "Have you ever thought of writing a newsletter?" Quite frankly, I had not thought of doing my own newsletter. He arranged a meeting and Stuart explained how we could work together to produce a newsletter that would make these self development concepts available to thousands of people. About 1 month later, the first issue of Attitude is Everything newsletter was published. I published the newsletter for nearly 20 years and reached hundreds of thousands of people with this life changing information. How did it all happen? I was committed to sharing these principles with others. I had a positive attitude. I started writing, and then Stuart Kamen, a complete stranger, entered my life, someone who knew just how to turn my dream into reality. Ah, the magic of commitment. With ordinary talent and extraordinary perseverance, all things are attainable. Sir Thomas Buxton. A word of caution. Before you get too excited about waltzing easily toward your goals, I caution you. Even with a commitment, everything won't be rosy on your path. Life will test you to see how serious you are about achieving your objective. Obstacles will arise, you'll make mistakes and suffer disappointments and setbacks, some of which may be quite severe and even tempt you to abandon your goal. That's when it becomes important to follow the sage wisdom of Winston Churchill, who said, "Never, never, never give up." Or the advice provided by James J. Corbett, "You become a champion by fighting one more round." When things are tough, you fight one more round. If you have made a commitment to accomplish a goal, you can overcome temporary defeats and you will triumph. Commitment pays off for aspiring novelists. Several years ago, American Way magazine carried a fascinating interview with best-selling novelist David Baldacci. Baldacci is the author of the immensely successful novels Absolute Power, Total Control, and The Winner. Millions of copies of his books have been sold. Let me assure you, however, that Baldacci was no overnight success. His accomplishments and financial achievements were the result of his total commitment to developing his talents as a writer. Like me, Baldacci started out as a lawyer. He started law school in 1983 and didn't give any thought to becoming a best-selling novelist. He simply enjoyed writing. Yet, at the outset, Baldacci knew that he didn't have the necessary writing skills. So he made a commitment. As he put it, to learn the craft of writing. For the first 5 years, he didn't finish any of his projects. Every day, he just worked on characters, plot development, and other writing basics. At the time, he was practicing lawyer and he and his wife had 2 young children. When did he find the time to do this writing? Baldacci worked on his writing every night from 10 p.m. to until 2 a.m. Now that's a commitment to do whatever it takes. He pointed out, however, that he had fun writing. It wasn't a chore. By the way, I'm not suggesting that you stay up all night to pursue your goals. That's 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift certainly wouldn't work for me, and it may not work for you either. One person with a commitment is worth more than 100 people who have only an interest. Mary Crowley. After 10 years of writing, Baldacci had completed some short stories and a few screenplays. his total sales zero. All that he had to show for his efforts were a lot of rejections from editors. In 1996, all of Baldacci's efforts paid off big time. He received millions of dollars for the literary and movie rights to his blockbuster thriller Absolute Power. The star of the movie was Clint Eastwood. Such is the power of a person who is committed.